Good afternoon, ladies. I have a question for you. If I asked you if you were an all-in, all-out kind of gal, would you agree? So you're either all in, all over it, on it, whatever you want to call it, or you're not making an effort. Think like Monday morning, halo is polished, fridge full of spinach, salad, practically like Gwyneth Paltrow. You're that angelic with your food. But by Friday night, well, you've been good Monday to Thursday, Monday to Friday, so let's get the wine out. Let's get the wines out. Takeaway menus there. Yeah, it's on your phone, sitting on the table, whatever. Yeah. Crisps, chocolate. Because let's face it, if you have a takeaway, you might need a bit of sugar after the takeaway for the saltiness. Yeah, and then Sunday, you're just like, fuck's sake, going to start out all over again. So, if you tell me that you're an all-in, all-out kind of gal, I'm going to tell you that all you're doing is giving yourself a free pass to not try. How do I know this? Yeah, obviously I used to do it myself. Obviously. So, I had a chat today, right, with one of my on-fire clients. So we start next Monday, and they've all got the opportunity to have a rocket up your ass call with me to find out their fears, their struggles, their barriers, and basically for me to put a rocket up their arse and call them out and get them motivated to start on Monday. Like 6 weeks we've got together, 6 weeks of awesomeness, so that we can build their confidence, improve their relationship with food, and generally make them feel awesome. Now, I'm not going to change the world in 6 weeks. Like, they're not going to lose a stone or anything like ridiculously unhealthy like that. But I am going to give them the confidence and as much knowledge as I can so that they can take a wee bit more control of their life because they'll have the self-belief to do it. So the call that I had today was from a lovely lady, by the way. Obviously, it was very nice to meet her. Was about going all in or all out. So she's told me, she's admitted up front that she's an all in, all out kind of gal, and that she will try her best to go all in for 6 weeks, but realistically will probably last a fortnight. Obviously, that's not great. Yeah, my coaching course is for 6 weeks. I don't want to help somebody for 2 weeks. I want to help them for the 6 weeks. So, tell you some things that why this is quite a common thought process in us midlife women, and see if I can give you some tips and hints or some pointers for you to take away, so that if this is you, then we could maybe make it not you. That's the plan. Yeah? So, it's quite common, by the way. It's quite common in midlife. We have got a lot of stuff on. We've obviously, most of us have got jobs. We've got family stress, social lives, partying, kids stuff if you've got kids, possibly elderly parents. So we've got a lot on. And sometimes we just don't think that we've got the brain power to add anything else into that, whether that be training, exercise, daily steps, fat loss, nutrition, etc. So telling ourselves that we're not going to start anything new until we're less busy or we're less stressed or we've got less on or we've actually got time for ourselves, which, let's face it, it's never going to happen. You need to make time for yourself. It's never just going to appear. So it's actually quite common, right? And what you're doing is you're basically saying to yourself and anybody else that will listen, if I can't do it perfectly, I'm not going to do it at all. And this is one of the biggest reasons why we fail any goal, because we think that we have to be perfect. And we don't have a realistic time scale for completing said goal, usually. But also, if we tell ourselves this, then we don't actually have to do it. So if we don't do it, we're not going to fail. So let's just not start. So I want you to think about some things for me, ladies, all right? If you're all right, again, if you've been watching my lives on Insta, I am absolutely trying to stop say, all right, that was one just snuck in there. It's very difficult and it requires a lot of brain power. And I reckon I actually say all right more than I say fuck, which I actually find that quite amazing. So I am trying very hard. Bear with me, my lovelies. So from a physiological point of view, like from your body and your hormones and stuff, if you're resetting every Monday with your diet, so you're polishing your halo on your Sunday night because you're that scunning with yourself because you went AWOL at the weekend or whatever, your hormones aren't going to reset every Monday. And you're not going to erase, like your brain doesn't reset. We're not like a wee robot that we can switch ourselves on and off, right? We're human. Did you see that? I just nearly did all right there again. We're human beings. And your body, when it comes to Friday coming, your body will remember what you normally do or what you used to do or what you do when you're all out or all in. Your body will remember that. Your brain will remember that. Your brains are very, very clever. So I want you to liken it to, just say on a Friday night, you get to the Friday night, 6 o'clock, and you're like, I'm so opening a bottle of wine. So obviously you'll have been organised and you'll have your wine in the fridge, or you'll just have went to the chill section in the supermarket and bought it. You'll come home, you'll open that bottle of wine, you'll get your glass out, you'll pour the glass of wine, and you'll walk through the living room and sit on the sofa. You'll take one sip of that and you'll instantly feel calmer. And you'll be like, that's better. Whereas, in fact, that wine hasn't even hit your stomach yet. It hasn't permeated through all your veins and it's in your bloodstream. It hasn't hit your brain yet. But the minute you take that first sip, you will instantly relax. And this is because the anticipation of drinking the wine is actually better than the wine itself, which means it's just a habit. You can change this. You can change anything you want. Anyway, so that's like the all in, all out type thing, right? It's quite often the anticipation or the stress of the situation or whatever you think is going to happen. That's the feeling that you're craving. It's not necessarily the actual thing, if that makes sense. All right. Psychologically, if you over restrict Monday to Thursday, which is usually what we do, so it's not like we just eat at maintenance calories Monday to Thursday and then completely kick the arse out of it. We will absolutely over restrict because you want to bank some calories for the weekend. And probably if you're going to go out partying, you'll never manage to bank enough calories. You're always going to be in a calorie surplus, and that's okay. But you need to not over restrict either in advance of that or after that to catch up with your calories. But the psychological effects of over-restriction is over-restriction creates rebellion. Think back to when you were a kid and your mum said to you, don't touch that cooker because it's hot. What are you going to do? You're going to touch the cooker. Of course you are. Absolutely. Why would we not do that? Because that's what we do. This is the same with over-restriction. I'm not going to eat that chocolate ever again. Honestly, my ears are bleeding listening to this. Right, so what are you going to do? Of course you're going to eat all the chocolate and more at the weekend. Of course you are, because you've cut it out, so you're just going to be a rebel. Because for some reason, we've settled it in our brain that it's okay to be a rebel Saturday and Sunday, as long as we don't do it Monday to Thursday, or Monday to Friday, whatever your thing is. All right, this leads on to the lifestyle of this binge. Over-restrict, binge, over-restrict, binge, over-restrict, binge. Yeah, we're good Monday to Thursday. Maybe even we're good maybe Monday to Friday till 4 o'clock, and then it might go to shit, and then we're not good. I want you to think about what you can do daily, 7 days of the week, that's going to keep you on track. So I'm not looking for perfection 7 days of the week. Absolutely, absolutely, 100% not. But we are looking for consistency. Small daily actions, little things that you can do every day to get you out of this perfect mindset. If you were, right, you get up in the morning, right, and you brush your teeth. You remember get up in the morning, have your breakfast, and then brush your teeth. But you pretty much brush your teeth every morning before you leave the house, before you leave for work, before you start work. We pretty much brush our teeth. So if you skip that for 3 days, which I don't think any of you would do, what are you going to do on the 4th day? You're going to brush your teeth for an hour just to make up for the 3 days? No, of course you're not. You're just going to brush your teeth again, as normal. So this is like the over restriction and the binge. It's just you can't catch up. You can't play catch up. If you've missed it, you've missed it. You just need to park it and do it again at the first opportunity. Because consistency is what will give you the freedom to enjoy the social occasions. Restriction will not give you the freedom to enjoy the social occasions. It will just bring guilt and starting over every Monday, which is not cool. Portion control. I am a massive, massive believer in portion control. That's why I still eat Freddos. Because even after 5 years of being a nutrition coach and a year and a half of proper sorting out my nutrition, I cannot trust myself to have a whole bar of dairy milk in the house because I will wham it in a oneer. So I genuinely believe that one day I will get there and I will manage it, but at this moment in time, it's not happening. That's not for me. So I still have pre-wrapped chocolate. Oh, and sorry, on my phone call today, we were speaking about Freddos. And we were having a conversation about big packs of Freddos, like packs of 10 Freddos that you get. I can't remember where I bought them. Was it maybe Morrison's? Yeah, I can't remember. There have been times in the past when I've eaten the 5 Freddos in a whirl. Do you know, there's still times. Until you practice portion control with chocolate. So the answer to eating all the chocolate is not to cut the chocolate out. You need to practice your portion control. And you'll probably eat a lot of chocolate while you're practicing the portion control, but it will be worth it. Because if you never practice the portion control, you will always be stuck in this over-restrict, binge. Absolutely. So portion control, portion guidelines as well. It's about balanced plates of food and balanced treats. If you want a Freddo for your snack in the afternoon, that's totally cool. But you need to trade that off by having a piece of fruit for your morning snack. For example, it's about robbing Peter to pay Paul, and it's about making choices, because there's always choices. It's about making choices and decisions that gives you a little bit of what you fancy and doesn't make you feel deprived. It's not about cutting anything out. I'll never tell any of my clients to cut anything out unless they are allergic or intolerant. Don't get me started on hair strand tests for intolerances, by the way. That's a whole other podcast. So, to fuel yourself properly. The next thing I want you to think about, if this is you, if you are I'm an all-in, all-out kind of gal, I actually used to say that with pride. When I think back, I probably sounded like an arrogant cow. And if I said it to anybody that actually knew what they were talking about, so if I said it to somebody that back then that has knowledge that I do now, they would be standing there eye rolling me going, what a fucking dick, because that's exactly what I would be saying to somebody that said that to me, because you are literally giving yourself a free pass, right? So all or nothing, we want to ditch this all or nothing mindset. It is bollocks. I can't actually think of any situation that all or nothing is a good thing. If anybody wants to call me out on that, then please do. But you need to message me with what your situation would be. Well, that could be like a little game. Anyway, one meal. So I want you to go back to what I was saying about about cleaning your teeth, right? You don't clean your teeth for 3 days and then you clean them for an hour on the 4th day to make up for it. It's ridiculous. We would never actually do that. But for some reason, we think that that's what we're going to do. We think that because we've eaten extra calories Saturday, Sunday, we're going to eat like 0 calories Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or vice versa. It's ridiculous. Actually, see if you sit and think about it, it's actually ridiculous. So one unhealthy meal, one tasty meal, one night of partying, one day of partying, one day of drinking, a weekend of drinking doesn't actually make you really unhealthy. It doesn't actually ruin your week. It doesn't destroy your goals. But the flip side of that is eating one salad, it's not going to make you ripped. I mean, come on. Lifting one dumbbell and you expect to have shoulders like, I don't know, Wonder Woman. I can't actually think of any females with Danielle Brandon. She's got amazing shoulders. If you don't know who Danielle Brandon is, Google Danielle Brandon and CrossFit. I've got a bit of a girl crush on her. Anyway, when it comes to the weekend, instead of no wine ever, I'm just going to cut wine out. No, you're not. No, you're absolutely not. You're only going to cut it out for about 4 days and then you're just going to binge on it. So a glass or two on a Saturday, not the bottle. If you're having 2 bottles on a Saturday or 2 bottles on a Friday, try and just split 1 bottle over the 3 days. It'll take practice. It's like the chocolate analogy. You might eat a lot, you might drink a lot of wine while you're trying to practice this, but just keep trying. You're not failing. And then instead of no chocolate, I'm having no chocolate Monday to Friday. I'm having no bread Monday to Friday. I'm having no carbs Monday to Friday. Fuck off, right? You've been trying this for 30 years. At what point is it going to click that this does not work? It's not you that's flawed. That thought process is flawed. That is, if that was like the best thought process in the world and you couldn't nail it, I would tell you that that was the best thought process in the world and you need to try harder. That is the shittest thought process ever. You need to get out of that thought process. It's bollocks. Pish. Utter pish. So, patch the no chocolate Monday to Friday. Don't even think about that. Get that right out your head. Instead, what you're going to do is that bar of chocolate, that big share bar of chocolate, but also, who invented the word share when it comes to chocolate or crisps? I mean, come on. That's a bit tight, isn't it? Anyway, share it with yourself over the 7 days. That's what I want you to think about. So when you're eating that chocolate, so if you're having a strip of the dairy milk instead of the whole bar of the dairy milk, I want you to sit there on your sofa and eat it and enjoy it with a cup of tea if that's your thing. And sit and think to yourself and be smug as fuck, because when you're eating your chocolate, you know that tomorrow you're going to have the same. So you're going to have another strip of chocolate tomorrow night and the next night and the next night. There's no need to cut it out. Absolutely not. You just need to practice portion control. All in or all out. If you're telling me you're an all in or all out kind of gal, I'm telling you that you're giving yourself a free pass to kick the arse out of it. Because your excuse that you're hiding in that phrase is if you can't do it perfectly, then you're not doing it at all. And that is also a shite phrase. We're not looking for perfection. I'm not. I'm a coach. I'm not looking for perfection. I don't expect myself to be perfect and I don't expect my clients to be perfect, because there's too many variables that can come in and sideswipe you that's not your fault. It's about being consistent and it's about trying and not giving up. Self-sabotage, again, I am not a psychologist, all right, but self-sabotage is you giving yourself permission to not try. Now, there's a lot of emotions behind self-sabotage as well, but it's effectively you kidding yourself on that you're in control. That's what self-sabotage is. Well, I'm just going to binge. You've just accepted that you're going to do it. When, us women like to dramatise stuff. When, in fact, if you take the drama out of that emotional eating and self-sabotage that you're doing, it's only a habit. And habits can be broken. But we make it into something that's bigger than it's actually not. So what I want you to do, instead of thinking about going all in for 2 weeks, because just say, you've sorted your shit out, the stress for your parents is gone, your kids are all sorted, you've maybe got a wee fortnight off your work, so you haven't got your work stress to think about, so you're going to go all in for a fortnight. And what's going to happen the minute that all your time constraints and everything comes back, right? It's all going to go to shit. So instead of going all in for 2 weeks, think about how far ahead you would be in your fat loss journey, say, for example, if you went 70% in for 6 months, because that you would have a better result at the end of the 6 months than you would at the end of the 2 weeks. So why would you not do that? Yeah? Why would you not? Why would you not? If I promise you that the results, whatever result you want, you're not going to get it at the end of the 2 weeks by going all in. But if you go 70% in for 6 months, I guarantee you'll have the result that you want. Why would you not do that? Anyway, whatever your goal is, whether it's fat loss, exercise, sorting your sleep out, daily steps, training, whatever, protein at meals, whatever, pick one. Pick one of those areas to be consistent. So consistent 70% over the course of the week. Pick one. Stop restarting every Monday. So if you don't manage that on this one day, Thursday, let's say Thursday, if you don't manage to do what this thing that you've picked, right, just say, I don't know, just say you've picked 10,000 steps. So you've done 10,000 steps Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday you only did 5,000 because you were too busy, couldn't be arsed, you were knackered, you had shit to do, blah, 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 blah. So you wake up on Friday morning and you check back your wee step counter thing and you only did 5,000 yesterday. Instead of thinking, well, I fucked it now, I'll just be a lazy cow and eat shite and drink wine Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I might as well because I fucked it on Thursday. Instead of doing that, think about making the best choice you can at the next opportunity. So the next opportunity for getting your daily steps in would be the next day. So if you could do 8,000, 7,000, 9,000, 10,000, that's you back on track. Instead of kicking the arse out of it for the next 3 days. Also, standards and rules, right? It's like a flexible, think of it as like a flexible fence, if you like. So if you think about it, if you're standing on just say you're standing on a path and there's a wee guardrail up either side, so not a full fence, not a brick wall, a wee guardrail, they will keep you, right, they'll let you sway and they'll keep you on balance without you actually falling completely off track, as opposed to a brick wall up each side of you when you can't move. So there needs to be some kind of flexibility. So I can't remember what I just said there just now, rules and standards. So standards are flexible, rules are rigid, and we don't want rules because that's like you trying to be perfect. So think about standards. What's your standards? You get to choose them every day, by the way, it's your choice. So if your goal is to do 10,000 steps a day, your minimum standard is 8. So you've got a 2,000 step leeway. Hit the 8, amazing. Oh, but if I just went out for a 20-minute walk, I could get the other 2 and then I've absolutely smashed it. Exactly. So, yeah, think about standards as opposed to rules. Also, you need to learn that socialising, meals out, partying, alcohol, chocolate, cake, ice cream, it's part of life. And if you're going to go through the next 30, 40, 50 years having a guilt fest and overcompensating and over-restricting because you've had a social event, you're never going to get out of this. You're just going to be miserable. You're going to be filled with guilt. You're going to be stepping on the scales still in 2 years' time, 3 years' time, 4 years' time, frustrated as fuck because you can't manage it. Whereas what I was saying to you before, because of all the social media marketing and all the stuff about fat loss and the way women should look, and following influencers on Instagram that literally screenshot 2 seconds of their life, and you're trying to live that perfect 2 seconds for 24 hours a day, you're set up to fail. It's your mindset that we need to change, and we need to ditch all those old rules. So give yourself permission to enjoy a meal out or a drink or a bit of cake or an ice cream, happy in the knowledge that at the next available opportunity, i.e. the next meal, you'll be back to your healthy choices. Yeah? Midlife's a funny thing. Honestly, we don't have the willpower that we had or the determination that we had when we were younger. Do you know, you just used to, I've got a pretty dress to fit into the night, I'll just have 5 coffees and a packet of fags. That was maybe me, that maybe wasn't you, but that's what you used to do. You used to not eat. We don't have the willpower to do that. We can't sustain it anymore. Our hormones are all over the place. It's difficult. So midlife bodies and midlife hormones, they like consistency. They don't like perfection. We don't have to be perfect. Absolutely not. Think about what you can do today to start getting rid of that. mindset. Yeah. So, ladies, that's what I'm going to be working on with this client. It is group coaching. It's called On Fire, because I think that we should all be on fire in midlife. And quite often or not, we're not on fire. And I'm not speaking about the hormones, etc. I'm speaking about the weight gain and stuff. But we're not on fire because we're trying to stick to a way outdated way of dieting, a way outdated mindset. This is your time to change it. You are not failing. You're trying to live up to somebody else's ridiculous standards. All right, my lovelies. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.